Welcome to The Explainer. So today we are diving into what is literally the most massive, highly efficient, and honestly beautifully complex corporate organization on the entire planet. And the best part? You're already intimately familiar with it because, well, it's you. The human body is just this absolute masterpiece of biological engineering. It's an incredibly dynamic structure where literally trillions of cells are collaborating just to keep you alive and thriving. But to truly grasp how this biological enterprise operates, we've got to look at its fundamental management structure.
Just think about it for a second. If you put, say, 100 people in a room without a solid plan, you just get a noisy mess, right? Well, your body has trillions of cells, trillions, and they're divided up across completely different physical environments, performing drastically different jobs, all at the exact same time. So how on earth do 11 distinct, highly complex systems work together every single second of the day without just descending into total chaos? Honestly, it's a massive problem of coordination. But as you'll see, biology has engineered a breathtaking solution.
Okay, let's dive into this blueprint. To understand how our bodily company operates, we actually need to look at its architectural blueprint first. We kind of have to understand the physical building before we can figure out the work happening inside. And that brings us to two foundational concepts, anatomy and physiology. Anatomy is simply the study of the body's structure. If we stick with our corporate metaphor, anatomy is the physical office building. You know, the walls, the hallways, the physical desks. Physiology, on the flip side, is the study of how those body structures actually work to support life. It's the work happening inside that building, the emails being sent, the meetings taking place, the actual day-to-day production. And you really can't study one without the other, because a structure's form invariably dictates its physiological function. So how is this physical office actually organized? Well, it's neatly compartmentalized into fluid-filled body cavities. This setup protects your delicate organs and lets them expand without rubbing against each other and causing friction. You've got the highly secure server room of the dorsal cavity in the back, holding the brain and spinal cord. Then there's the massive ventral cavity in the front, which is actually divided by the diaphragm, and that houses your heart, lungs, and all your digestive and reproductive organs. Now, here's the crucial question. What is the ultimate goal of all these compartments and the organs inside them? Like, what's the core mission statement of our corporate body? It's homeostasis. Homeostasis is basically a steady state of internal balance that the body is constantly working to maintain. Think about your body temperature hovering right around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, or how your blood sugar levels stay perfectly balanced. Basically, every single action your body takes is a strategic move to restore and maintain this exact internal balance against a constantly, relentlessly changing outside world.
So to execute this mission of homeostasis, our corporate body has to divide the labor. It relies on these specialized, distinct departments. Exactly 11 of them, to be precise. The human organism relies on 11 incredibly complex, totally distinct organ systems. Each of these systems is a group of organs that work together to perform a unique, absolutely essential function for the whole.
Let's do a really quick roll call of these departments. We have the integumentary system, which is your skin, along with the skeletal and muscular systems providing structure and movement. We've got the nervous and endocrine systems. Then there's the cardiovascular, lymphatic, and respiratory systems handling all the transport, defense, and gas exchange. And finally, the digestive, urinary, and reproductive systems managing fuel, waste, and, the continuation of the species. For you to survive, these 11 separate departments must work together in total harmony. And to do that, they need some powerful, centralized direction. Which brings us to the two bosses. Enter the executive suite. To keep all 11 of those departments strictly aligned with that core goal of homeostasis, the body relies on two primary CEOs. Now, what's really interesting about this is how completely different these two bosses actually are. The nervous system is the rapid response short-term CEO. It uses electrical impulses to send high-speed messages in literally a matter of milliseconds. Think of it like a boss rapidly firing off instant messages to deal with an immediate crisis. The endocrine system, however, that's the slower, long-term strategic CEO. It communicates using chemical messengers called hormones. This process takes minutes to hours, but the effects, they are long-lasting. It's like a boss sending out detailed, company-wide policy memos that fundamentally shift how the whole organization operates over time. And today, for our deep dive into the endocrine system, we are putting the spotlight entirely on that second boss, the master strategist of our corporate body. So, the endocrine system's entire power comes from hormones. Hormones are basically the chemical memos of the body. They are secreted by specialized organs called glands. But, and this is key, unlike sweat or saliva which exit the body, hormones are secreted directly into the internal environment. They're specifically designed to trigger responses and target organs that might be far, far away from where they were originally produced.
And this brilliantly illustrates where these memo-producing glands are strategically distributed across all our body cavities. You've got the pituitary and pineal glands way up in the cranial server room, the thyroid regulating metabolism down in the neck, and then major producers like the adrenals, the pancreas, and the gonads scattered throughout the massive abdominal cavity.
Now, here is the absolutely fascinating logistical challenge. The endocrine system has literally no physical wiring. There are no cables connecting the pancreas to your liver or to your muscles, so how do the memos actually get delivered? Well, the endocrine system relies entirely on the cardiovascular system. It uses the bloodstream as its literal mailroom. The glands drop their hormones into the blood, and the heart pumps those chemical messengers to absolutely every single corner of the body. It's a perfect example of two completely different systems totally depending on one another to get the job done.
So that brings us to hormones and homeostasis, right back to our company's ultimate goal. How exactly do these circulating chemical memos help us achieve that internal balance? Basically by acting as the ultimate long-term managers. While your nervous system is busy dealing with immediate threats, like, say, pulling your hand away from a hot stove, your hormones are quietly regulating the massive, sustained operations of your visceral systems. They are dictating your basal metabolism. They're controlling your growth and development all the way from childhood into adulthood. They manage sexual function, and they ensure that the balance of glucose and electrolytes in your blood remains exactly where it needs to be for you to, well, survive the day.
As the source material so perfectly summarizes here, these systems work in tandem to monitor the internal and external environment and initiate appropriate responses to maintain homeostasis. Anatomy provides the physical space. The 11 organ systems provide the hard labor. The cardiovascular system provides the transport. And the endocrine system, working right alongside the nervous system, provides the master instructions that keep the whole beautiful, incredibly complex operation running smoothly.
It is a nonstop 24/7 operation. I mean, right now, at this exact second, as you watch this explainer, millions of chemical hormones are circulating through your bloodstream, keeping you alive, balanced, and functioning. Your corporate body is hard at work. So take a moment and ask yourself, what is your endocrine system up to today?